400-7282.
Savage.
Your Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust for tangible assets, gold and silver. Call 800-BUI-COIN. Welcome back to the Savage Nation. We continue our analysis of how bullying by the radical left has and is destroying every institution in the United States of America and threatening the survival of the nation itself. There are people behind it. We know who they are. One of them was the mayor of New York, de Blasio, who from the minute he became mayor started a war against the police, a war he had been involved in for 20 years in his thuggish rise from the gutters of New York. Listen to clip 10 from a year ago. Shortly after he became mayor, one of his first sound bites had to do with the police. Listen to this.
We've had to literally train him, as families have all over this city for decades, in how to take special care in any encounter he has with the police officers who are there to protect him. And that painful sense of contradiction that our young people see first, that our police are here to protect us, and we honor that. And at the same time, there's a history we have to overcome because for so many of our young people, there's a fear.
So he attacked the police as being racist. He eliminated the stop and frisk law that kept New Yorkers safe under Mayor Bloomberg. As a result, crime has spiked in New York City. Rapes, murders, homicides, burglaries. And so this left-wing fanatic has now said he's adding 1,000 police to the streets of New York without admitting that his left-wing fanatical policies have accounted for this rise in crime. Today there were hearings in Congress, new hearings on what's being done to government workers who want to do the right thing. What you're about to hear is an individual in the Department of Homeland Security who was trying to blow the whistle on visas being given illegally to illegal aliens. Listen what they did to this woman in clip 13.
From the onset of the investigation, my management began getting complaints from outside agencies and high-ranking officials. As a result, I was removed from the investigation, and it was ultimately shut down and closed. Shortly after, I was escorted by 3 supervisors from my desk and out of my permanent duty station. I was not permitted to access my case files or personal items. I was removed initially over 50 miles in direct violation of Title V. My weapon and credentials were taken against the agency's firearms policy. My government vehicle was confiscated. Access to the building and all government databases was revoked. I was told I couldn't even carry or own a personal weapon, which is a constitutional rights violation.
This is a woman who tried to speak out about corruption inside the new fascist agency, the DHS, handpicked leaders by Barack Obama, who have become into a sort of SS or SA, reporting only to Obama and his sorority. This woman tried to do the right thing. She was a whistleblower. She talked about visas being given away illegally to illegal immigrants. Look what they did to her. They stripped her of her job and her weapon. They moved her 50 miles away from her position. That's what the hearing was about today. This is all because of the bully in the White House who has said, well, you know what he said. He wants illegal immigrants everywhere, and so it doesn't matter whose lives are ruined in the process. Let's go to the callers on KSFO in San Francisco, line 6. Orlean, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so glad you were talking about bullying in the university system. My husband has been here working at a university in Northern California for 33 years, and through the diversity training, the political correctness, the sensitivity training, he has seen, he said it's almost impossible. Nobody wants to talk to each other. They are really cowered into silence, and it makes it really difficult.
That's correct. That's what went on in the ex-Soviet Union and in communist China. And it's all come to us as a result of the LGBT community. Listen, I'm not going to mince words. I know who started this. I know who started the diversity training. I know who the bullies were. I faced it myself 20 years ago when I was on a local station and was forced to attend diversity training, and I was the only one who spoke out and said, hey, wait a minute, that's a bunch of rubbish. I'm not taking this, and I walked out. And all 200 employees looked at me like I was the crazy one. Well, management eventually eliminated diversity training because of me, and I want everyone listening to me. You don't have to put up with indoctrination. Stand up and walk out on them. Put your body on the line. It's time to fight back. Get 5 other co-workers, turn your back on them. You don't have to listen to anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-straight hatred. You're not required to take it from these sickos. That's all I'm going to say on it. Listen, I've paid the penalty. I paid the price for my beliefs. Don't think I haven't. What do you think? I just say this with impunity? I have been punished for 21 years in radio. It's virtually a miracle that I've survived and I have a program that is as successful as it is. I have been boycotted by these people. I have been run off stations by these people. They've marched in front of stations, these people. The ad agencies are controlled by these people. Don't think that I'm not paying the price for speaking out. Don't think I'm just telling you to speak out. I'm telling you that it's a fight that all of us have to make wherever you are, whenever you are. Speak out. It may be the last chance you have to speak out. 855-400-7282 is the phone number. We're talking about bullying. I've asked you for your experience in this situation. Let's go to WABC. Hank, welcome to the program. What's on your mind?
Yes, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but in a lot of talk radio, it's often implied that, like, blacks are the problem. Like,
I'm not even talking about blacks. How is this about blacks?
I'm saying it's implied a lot. Without coming outright and saying.
Well, I'm talking about bullying. I'm more specifically talking about bullying in America. It really has nothing to do with African Americans right now.
For example, like when you just said that in the diversity channel, you said it's an attack on white.
Well, it is an attack on whites and Christians. I went through it. They singled out whites and Christians in diversity training as being evil. That's exactly what they do.
Well, I don't think that all whites are evil. And I'm a Christian.
Well, that's very, very benevolent of you. I'm very glad that you don't. I feel much better now.
I think everybody is every race is evil. You know what I'm saying? In every race.
What you're saying is in every race there is good and bad, in plain English. I understand that. I understand that. I get it. But so what's the point of your call? I mean, we agree on that.
Yeah, but a lot of times listening to talk radio, there's a lot of like implications that like it's black.
So take it up with them. Take it up with the people who you think are being racist. I'm not one of them. Okay? I'm not one of them, so I don't have to apologize for something I didn't do. But I'll tell you, to show you what a great guy I am, I'll send you a free book, a copy of my novel, Countdown to Mecca. I hope you take the trouble to read it. The phone number is 855-400-7282. When we come back, I've got more sound bites, more news, views, and reviews. I can't give you a little lead of what it is. There's plenty of them. You're not going to believe the stories I found. They're awful. It's getting worse.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Who is bullying who? Welcome to the Savage Nation. I've changed the paradigm of the argument, hoping to save America by giving you the guts to stand up to the real bullies. And you must stand up and say, I'm not going to be bullied anymore. You can take it and shove it. And if 1 million of us did it, or 10 million of us did it, the little rats would run back to the rat holes they came out of. Everywhere you turn, the bullies are out of control because there's been no opposition to them. And everywhere you turn, Christians are being fed to the lions, whether it be in the military or elsewhere, as I'm going to show you in the emerging segment of this program. Here's a story that I must read to you if I can find it. I pulled out so many different stories today trying to elucidate my discussion on this terrible subject that I can't find it. Honestly, I cannot find it. I have 100 different stories on what they're doing in the military and how they've melted Christians out of the military. Again, all under the guise of LGBT fairness. WABC, Alan, welcome to the Savage Nation.
God bless you, Dr. Savage. I'm an ordained minister and was a volunteer police chaplain in the city of Newark Police Department for about 19 years. Last year, Barak got elected to the city of Newark as a mayor, and by the end of the year, he dissolved the chaplaincy of the clergy affairs unit because there were much too many Christians in it. He catered to what I believe to the Muslim crying out loud because they were controlling some of the city hall, and he dissolved.
Who did this? A mayor of Newark, you said?
Yes.
And what was his name?
Barak.
Oh, I see. They elected a Muslim as mayor, and they were shocked to find out that he was a bigot? They were shocked to find that he was an anti-Christian bigot? How shocking can that be?
How shocking can that be? Correct, Dr. Savage. Correct. So the ministry was dissolved. It was all volunteer, but I had a love for the city, for its people, because they were hurting. And now the murder rate's about 35, 36 homicides, and about 100 people shot.
Well, that's very democratic. I mean, that's fairness. If it's as long as they're killing across the ethnic spectrum, I would say that's fair. But if only minorities are being killed in this crime wave, I think that's unfair. And I think they need to execute some white people in order to make the homicide rate equal. Don't you?
I get you right, Doctor.
Well, I think that's the next step for de Blasio, is to make certain that white people are lined up and shot in order to make sure that there's diversity and fairness in the outcome of the homicide spike. I mean, that's the only way we're going to achieve our goals of fairness in New York and Newark, isn't it?
You have a great point there, Dr. Savage. Great point.
Listen, sometimes you have to use sarcasm to make your point, and I hope that you understand I'm just being sarcastic. Alan, I'm sorry that you lost your love in life. I'm sorry that the country is melting down so rapidly under this evil that is emanating from the... You know, there's a saying, the fish rots from the head down. And this nation is rotting because the head of the fish is rotten. I'm sending you a copy of Countdown to Mecca, my latest best-selling novel. Please stay on the line. Here's a story. Some gays in the Navy want to kick out a long-serving, decorated chaplain for using the Bible in private counseling sessions. I swear to God. They set him up, you see. This Navy chaplain, his name is Mr. Moder, M-O-D-D-E-R. He's a former Navy SEAL, by the way. He's not one of those, let us say, mumbo-jumbo types. 20 years in the Marines and the Navy. Stints with SEAL Team 6, deployed many times in the War on Terror, receiving glowing reviews from his commanding officers. But his superior, Captain FAHS, set him up. They assigned to him a gay man as his assistant. And because this minister continued to use the Bible, they reported him. And now they're trying to throw him out of the military. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Since Don't Ask, Don't Tell was revoked by President Obama, some openly gay service members have gone on a witch hunt in the armed services, seeking out anyone who they perceive as not fully supportive of the radical homosexual agenda. They have kept a particularly sharp eye on military chaplains who more than likely are teaching what the Bible says, that it is immoral and not countenanced by God, along with other things such as sex outside of marriage. Well, Chaplain Wes Moder was saying such things in private counseling sessions, and a coterie of gay sailors convinced Moder's superior officer to take action against him. And what did the new Navy do? The new Navy under Barack Obama removed Reverend Moder from the promotion list, detached him for cause, they fired him, and they brought him before an official board of inquiry where he could be forced out of the Navy. Now, we remember reading that Christians were persecuted by the communist Chinese, remember? Well, right now, Christians are being persecuted by the communist militants in the military. Yesterday, Moder's attorneys, the Public Interest Liberty Institute, filed an Article 138 complaint against his superior, Captain FAHS. The complaint says that Captain FAHS denied Chaplain Moder's request for the religious accommodation based on outdated regulations. They say that Captain FAHS unlawfully censored Chaplain Moder's free exercise of religion by denying his request for a religious accommodation. Here is a man again, a member of SEAL Team 6, a man of God, who was simply quoting the Bible. And you like to think that Christians were thrown to the lions in ancient Rome? Well, right now the Christians are being thrown to the lions in modern Barack Obama America. How do you like that? How's that an example of bullying? You think that's fair? WABC, Mark, welcome to the Savage Nation.
How you doing today?
How I'm doing? You know, I'm not your friend. What's on your mind?
I'm trying to understand your diversity in the workplace. Do you have an example of how it is lining up and killing the Christians or targeting the whites?
Yes, I sure do. I'll give you an example. When I was forced to go to a diversity training session, they put a little Buddhist statue in the front with a candle burning, and the lecturers, which consisted of an overly sized woman with short hair, a very short Asian, and I forget which other type was there, they lectured the group for over 30 minutes on the evils of Christianity and the homophobia and racism of white people. Is that a clear enough example?
Well, if they use those words, then I would say, yeah, you probably should have some legal action against that.
Well, I should have had legal action. Instead, I cursed them out and left the session. But I wasn't alone. This goes on across America. I don't think you understand what's being done to people in this country.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through several workshops. I've never experienced anything remotely like that.